Here we have the Dynatek High Performance coil kit for the Teryx. What it consists of is a couple of new coils. Compared to the stock coil, quite a difference in size. A couple new wires. We'll use our existing boots off our spark plugs that we'll screw on. I'll show you that a little later. Comes with some wire ties and a mount kit with spacers. Both of these coils are going to be mounted on the driver's side of the Teryx, right below the driver's seat, actually right below where the factory coil location is. To complement this kit, I'm going ahead and installing a new set of Iridium NGK spark plugs, model number CR7EIX. Since we're mounting both of our coils over right below the driver's seat, the kit comes with an adapter cable, and what I've done is unplug these two wires from the factory coil for the rear cylinder, hooked them up, used dielectric grease on them, which is dielectric tune-up grease. Once we remove the coil, all we're going to do is just pull our rear spark plug boot off the plug, and there's a little clip right here that holds the wire. We just need to unclip to get it off. And then we'll be using this cap in our new kit through just the factory clips and cable tie downs. The next thing we're going to need to do in routing this harness going to the rear coil is run it through the factory wiring location into where all our electronics for the machine are. My Dynatek CDI, battery, that sort of thing. What I'll do before I actually run it is I'm going to go ahead and wrap it with this protective heat tape. Okay, I'm just routing it in to where it'll be neat, and I can wire tie it off to other wires and get it in the general proximity, which is right under here where the new coils are going to be mounted. Alright, all we have left to do now is remove the front coil. The next thing we're going to do is drill a couple holes to mount our new Dynatek coils on. And where they're going to go is on this bracket right here. They give you a little template that I cut out from the instructions. It shows this cross member right here, and it shows exactly where to drill. Pretty easy. What I'm using is, I'm just going to hold my template, and I'm using a smaller bit. I'm going to be eventually drilling 1/4 inch holes, but I want to we have our two pilot holes drilled. Now we're going to change bits and open them up to a 1/4 inch bit, which is what size the bolts are. And we'll be mounting these things back to back. Pilot hole really helps. We bolted these two coils up next to each other with through bolts, and they're 2 spacers on each one. This front coil goes to the front cylinder, the rear goes to the rear. My wiring from the other side, using the harness that came with this kit, is right here to where I'll be able to easily hook it right up to this rear coil. And then my front coil wires are right here from the factory location to where we can hook them up to the front. So it's real easy, straightforward installation so far. Alright, now that we have the coil secure, we're going to go ahead and hook up our factory wiring harness for the front coil right here. And there are 2 terminals, one's marked with a red dot. Green and white wire to the terminal without a dot. Black, yellow goes to the orange adapter wire, then to the terminal with the red dot. So we hook green and white to the terminal without a dot, but we're going to put a little bit of dielectric grease on it first. So here's green and white. To the terminal without a dot. Okay, then the black and yellow first here, and we're going to use this little adapter. Looks just like a little spacer to ease strain on this wire. We're going to put a little dielectric grease in it too, just to keep it watertight, and plug it in. Okay, then we have our front coil hooked up, and then we'll go ahead and hook up the rear. And we have our little wiring adapter. We got same colors, a black and yellow and a blue and white. Not sure if you can see me making these connections or not, but the blue and white goes to the terminal without the dot, and the black and yellow goes to the terminal with the red dot. Okay, there we have it. We've got our coils hooked up. All we got to do now is hook the wire that goes from the coil itself to the plug. I've already removed the back spark plug, but now we need to remove the front, which is right here. I got a plug wrench and a little 1/4 inch breaker bar to break it loose with. And we just unscrew by hand. We're reinstalling the plug. We want to be very careful not to cross thread it, and we just want to put it in by hand just to make sure we got it in right and it's going in. If it were cross threaded, you'd feel resistance quick. When you take out a plug or put a plug in, it seems like it screws in forever. It's got a lot of threads on it. So just remember, quick rule of thumb is if it goes only in a few turns and then starts feeling some tension, something's wrong. You need to work on making sure it's not cross threaded. At that point, you don't want to tighten it so much that it locks in there to where you can't get it out. You also don't want to put it in so loose that gases blow by. Next step is to attach. What I did was I fit our new coil wire, one long one, one short one. Comes with the kit. I fed it through the hole here in the factory where the factory coil wire went. Okay, we're going to attach it to the front coil securely, which it is. Then what we do is we take the factory boot and we just screw it on in a clockwise direction. Okay, we've got both our coils installed, our coil wires run, our new spark plugs installed. All that's left now is just going back with a few wire ties, kind of making things neat. And as you can see, I use a couple just to hold this wiring bundle up off of this kind of rough area of the engine case right there, because I noticed it was rubbing a little bit. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and incorporate these. This is my lead going across to the new to the old factory coil wire plugs on the other side, rerouting them to our new coil, and then this is our plug wire for the rear cylinder. So we're just going to neaten things up a little bit and then fire it up and see how it runs. Actually, I can't wait. Let's see what it'll do. Normally this thing hadn't been started since yesterday about this same time, because I've been working on filming this video. So what I do is choke it and we'll see what it'll do. See if we can tell any difference. Wow. Usually if I choked it like that and put the choke in, it wouldn't stay running right now at this low RPM. Wow. I'm impressed. Can't wait to see what it does out and about. All we have to do now is just go back and trim off our little ends of our ties. And I'm going to wrap some heat wrap around here. Then this install is complete. Very simple to do. Seemed to start up a little bit easier. You know, the proofs will be determined over the long term, but it was recommended to me to go with these hotter coils, and I think I made a good choice.